in theater, there's an old superstition. You never wish someone good luck before they go on stage. You say, break a leg instead, because good luck is supposed to jinx it, invite the very thing you're hoping won't happen. This film takes that tiny, silly piece of backstage tradition and quietly turns it into the saddest, truest thing it has to say about hope. Because sometimes the people you love most, you can't jinx-proof. You just have to walk out on stage anyway and hope. Hi, and welcome back. Glad you're here for this one. Today we're talking about Don't Say Good Luck, Netflix's new coming-of-age dramedy starring Sunny Sandler, Melanie Lynskey, and Max Greenfield, directed by Julia Hart. Fair warning going in. This is a genuinely emotional watch, so if you've seen it already, you know exactly what we mean. If you haven't, let's walk through it together. Sophie Birenbaum, played by Sunny Sandler, is a shy sophomore theater kid who walks into auditions for her high school's production of Waitress hoping, at best, for the small supporting role of Dawn. Everyone assumes another girl, Mallory, already has the lead role of Jenna locked up. Sophie walks out of that audition room having landed Jenna instead. The exact kind of moment every theater kid dreams about for years. She finds out on almost the very same day that her mother Elizabeth's cancer, which the family thought was behind them, has come back. Melanie Lynskey plays Elizabeth with a kind of controlled, quiet strength, a woman who is simultaneously fighting and, some days, just tired of fighting. Her husband Ted, played by Max Greenfield, runs a busy family deli and becomes the one steadying presence trying to hold the household together, all while raising Sophie's two rambunctious younger twin brothers, Caleb and Ethan. Rounding out the family are two grandfather figures, played by Steve Buscemi and John Lovitz, alongside Bebe Neuwirth as Sophie's grandmother. A combination one viewer described online as genuinely not being emotionally prepared for Steve Buscemi playing somebody's sweet, doting grandpa. It's a small piece of casting that ends up doing a lot of work, giving the family scenes an easy, lived-in warmth even in the middle of everything else going on. What Don't Say Good Luck gets right almost immediately is refusing to treat this as a story about one enormous tragedy sitting in a spotlight. Instead, it's a story about two very different kinds of drama running at the same time. One blocked and rehearsed and cued to land exactly on beat during Waitress rehearsals, and one at home that refuses to follow any script at all. Sophie spends the whole film caught between them, and the film is smart enough to let both feel completely real. The family scenes lean on a running bit that more than one reviewer singled out as one of the film's most charming touches. Sophie's parents have an ongoing habit of accidentally oversharing things around their kids that parents probably shouldn't. The kind of small, cringe-inducing honesty that makes the Birenbaums feel like an actual family instead of a movie version of one. It's a low-key comedic thread, but it matters because it's part of how the film earns the right to also be devastating later. These people joke around and embarrass each other and get on each other's nerves exactly the way real families do, cancer or no cancer. Rehearsals become something like a refuge for her. There's a warmth to the theater kid chaos. Her director, Miss Parker, played by Stephanie Beatriz, her scene partner and crush Jack, played by Jack Champion, and her best friend Carolyn, played by Scarlett Estevez, who's got a small role in the show herself. For a few hours at a time, Sophie gets to just be a normal teenager with normal teenager problems, blocking scenes and learning lyrics instead of watching her mother get sicker. But that doesn't mean the film shies away from real teenage messiness either. Sophie's crush on Jack doesn't play out the way she hopes. He turns out to be a little less steady than she wanted him to be, and part of her arc involves learning to forgive him for that, while slowly opening herself up to someone who's been quietly there for her the whole time instead. It's handled with the same light, unforced touch the film brings to almost everything, never tipping over into a full teen romance subplot that would compete with what's actually at the center of this story. At home, things are more complicated. Sophie's grandmother Linda, played by Bebe Neuwirth, has a genuinely tense, complicated relationship with her daughter Elizabeth. The kind of long-running mother-daughter friction that doesn't just dissolve because someone's sick. As Elizabeth's condition worsens, that tension boils over, and Elizabeth ultimately sends her own mother away, choosing to protect the little time she has left rather than spend it in conflict. Sophie's grandfather Dale takes the opposite approach. Gentler, more patient. The one adult who actually notices how much Sophie's been quietly holding in, and who tells her, without pushing, that she needs to let some of it out eventually. For a long stretch of the film, rehearsals genuinely help Sophie cope, giving her somewhere to put her energy that isn't grief. But that changes as opening night gets closer, and Elizabeth's illness can no longer be softened or explained away. This isn't just sick again anymore. It's serious. And Sophie finally understands exactly how serious. In that moment, the show that meant everything to her just weeks earlier suddenly feels almost embarrassingly small next to actually being present with her mother. Sophie nearly walks away from the production entirely right before opening night, coming home instead of going to school, ready to give up the role completely. Elizabeth won't let her. She spent the whole film refusing to let her own illness put Sophie's dreams on hold. And she isn't going to start now in the one moment it would matter most. So Sophie goes back. The film builds toward 2 performances instead of 1, and both of them use the same song. She Used to Be Mine, the devastating 11 o'clock number from Waitress itself, about looking back at the person you used to be before life got complicated. First, there's a quiet, private version Sophie performs at home for her mother, wearing one of Elizabeth's old maternity dresses, an intimate, almost unbearably tender goodbye between just the 2 of them. Then there's the real opening night, in front of the whole school, where Sophie finally lets everything she's been holding back pour into the performance in front of a packed, unsuspecting audience. It's worth knowing the filmmakers chose Waitress for this story very deliberately. In that musical, the main character Jenna lost her own mother young and is wrestling with an uncertain pregnancy and an uncertain future of her own. Themes that quietly echo everything Sophie is going through in real time. When Sophie sings about the woman she used to be, the song is doing double duty. It's Jenna's story on the surface, and it's Sophie's real grief underneath it, without the film ever needing to spell that out in dialogue. Here's the part that might surprise you if you're bracing for the worst. Don't Say Good Luck never actually shows Elizabeth dying. By the time the credits roll, she hasn't miraculously recovered either. Her condition is serious, her future is left genuinely uncertain, and the film deliberately refuses to turn Sophie's big opening night into a farewell scene. That restraint is exactly what the title's been pointing toward the whole time. Sophie tells her mother early in the film never to say good luck before a show. You say break a leg instead, because wishing luck on something is almost inviting bad luck in. By the end, that superstition has quietly become the whole emotional argument of the movie. You don't get certainty about the people you love. You don't get to know how the story ends. You just keep showing up for them anyway, and you hope. Critics have responded warmly overall, with plenty of praise for how the film earns its emotional moments by focusing on the actual mess of daily life, instead of leaning on cancer drama shorthand, the way a lot of films in this space tend to. Reviewers have singled out the choice not to include a single manufactured villain anywhere in the story. No bully, no rival theater kid scheming against Sophie. Nobody the film needs you to root against. Every conflict here comes from real people who love each other, handling an impossible situation imperfectly, which is a much harder thing to write convincingly than a clean antagonist. Sunny Sandler's performance has been a particular highlight across the board, with critics praising her ability to move between genuine teenage awkwardness and real emotional devastation, often within the same scene. Melanie Lynskey brings that same quiet complexity to Elizabeth, a woman who's simultaneously a fighter and, on her harder days, just tired. Not every review was glowing, though. A couple of critics felt the film's lighter, glossier high school musical moments occasionally undercut the weight of what's happening at home, and at least one reviewer wished we'd gotten to see more of Sophie's actual singing and more of the Waitress production itself on screen. One review went as far as scoring the film quite low, specifically for that tonal imbalance, arguing that whenever the heavier emotional lifting was required, the movie's more lightweight instincts held it back. A genuinely different read from the many critics who found that exact same mix of light and heavy to be the film's whole reason for working. There's also something worth knowing about where this story actually came from. Writer Laura Henkin based the original draft on a real, similar experience from her own life, which goes a long way toward explaining why so much of this, the accidental oversharing between parents, the sibling chaos, the specific, lived-in texture of a family trying to function through something this hard, feels less like a screenplay and more like something somebody actually lived through. This is also a genuinely notable departure for the studio behind it. Happy Madison Productions, Adam Sandler's own company, best known for broad comedies like Happy Gilmore and The Waterboy, hasn't really made anything like this before. Sandler produces here alongside his wife, Jackie, watching their real-life daughter, Sunny, take the lead in a role that demands far more emotional range than anything the studio has typically asked of anyone. Director Julia Hart, who previously made Stargirl and its sequel along with I'm Your Woman, brings the same sensitivity to teenage coming-of-age material that she's built her career on, co-writing the screenplay alongside Henkin and producer Jordan Horowitz. The film runs a lean 1 hour and 50 minutes, carries a PG-13 rating for thematic material, some strong language, and references to teen drinking, and premiered on Netflix on August 14, 2026, alongside a limited theatrical release the same day. Online reaction since release has been intensely, almost overwhelmingly emotional. It's become common to see viewers posting some version of "fuck cancer" alongside their reviews, less as commentary on the film's quality, and more as a raw response to how effectively it captures what watching a parent get sick actually feels like. So, here's what we're left wondering. Is it harder to watch a story that gives you a clean, defined ending? Or one that leaves you exactly where real life usually does, not knowing what happens next? Let us know which version of goodbye hit you harder in the comments. If Don't Say Good Luck got you the way it got us, do us a favor and like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let us know in the comments if you want more heartfelt ones like this one covered on the channel. Thanks for spending this time with us. We'll see you next time.